Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video. Going to have a look at the weather for 10 to 14 days. For today's first video, day 10, will take us to the 11th of June. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the exchange GFS and ECM ensemble because they runs around a couple of weeks. And we'll have a look at the CFS for June at the end of the video. And then also CANSIPS for summer 2022, and I'll get off that for you in a moment. Terry's goal is June and summer 2022 forecast will be coming up for you this evening, probably around 7 o'clock, so you'll be able to see what Terry is forecasting for June and also for the summer then. I want to say thank you once again for all of your incredibly kind messages about the passing of my mum, Mrs. P, who died last week on Friday. After yesterday's video, the outpouring of love and support was incredible. I have not been able to go through all of the comments, and respond to them, but I have seen each and every one of them and offering great comfort to me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you. As I said in yesterday's video, the GavsWeatherVids community is incredible. The way that we come together in times of trouble, and you're always there for me. And so it's my duty, my pleasure, but it's also my duty to bring you the videos and that when I can. I'll be doing at least one video a day up to a few, which I think will be the 17th of June. Obviously, I'll take that day off, but up to then, I'll try and get at least one video done a day. We'll be counting down to Glastonbury as well. Glastonbury Festival countdown will start quite soon now, I think, probably later next week. So I will try and get a few Glass Show updates done as well, because I love doing those with the Glastonbury crowd. And yeah, I just want to again say thank you to each and every one of you. My heart is broken at the moment, but you're carrying me. So your support and the love that you're giving me are what's carrying me, along with, of course, my family and my brother and everybody close to me in my personal life. But you guys, GavsWeatherVids community, you're really carrying me at the moment, so I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna keep at least one video going for you. And I know Mrs. P would be incredibly moved as well at the messages that you've been saying. So thank you so much on Mrs. P's behalf too. Right, so should we start the video then? We're going to begin by having a look at what's going on in the tropical Atlantic, because it's 1st day of June today, which means it's the first day of the 2022 hurricane season. Hurricane season runs from 1st of June to the 30th of November. So we've got 2 disturbance areas already. It's still very early days, of course, but we've got disturbance 2 here in the Caribbean, which only has like a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 5 days. But we also have disturbance 1, which is across South America, across the Yucatan Peninsula and southeastern Gulf of Mexico, and that's got a 50% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, a 70% chance, a high chance in the next 5 days. So it looks like that could well be our first named storm. It's again very early days. You don't get that these days. For the season tends to begin, right at the very beginning of the season. Sometimes even in past years, it's been kicking off even before the season officially begins. We haven't had that. We are right into the first day of the season, but it's really early to be seeing these disturbance areas. And it looks like that'll probably be our first named tropical storm or something within the next 5 days. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I'll just click on it, shall I? And see if we can find out where we're going to go with that. That's what it's predicted to do. So it's currently there. It's predicted to move out into the sea, and I suppose that's the reason they're saying that there's a chance, a 70% chance, high chance that it might develop into a significant storm. It's going to move over the warm waters, and that will mean it picks up energy, and so that's the reason. But that might well be our first named tropical storm of the season, right at the very beginning of the season. Changing the temperature, currently standing at 13. But when we have not got the finalised CT in for May yet, so CT at the moment is still provisional up to the 30th of May, standing at 13.1, which is 2 degrees above average. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're looking at London again today. So red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off below average, quite cool at the moment. You'll see the upper air temperatures lifting up by the time we get into the weekend. Actually gone quite warm, a bit warmer than average, and then that looks set to carry on through the second week of June as well, with above average temperatures. Then precipitation wise, not really much next couple of days, so reasonably dry. And getting to the weekend, especially later on in the weekend, it does look as though we could well start to pick up some heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms across southern areas. And then the rest of June, up to the middle of it anyway, or just into the second half of it, actually looking quite unsettled with further showers, if not some longer spells of rain. So as you say, yesterday's video becoming warmer, yes, but also becoming unsettled. Temperature anomalies from the 1st to the 9th of June are a little bit below average, especially for England and Wales, but a little bit above average for Northern Ireland. And precipitation anomalies from the 1st to 9th of June show north-south split, so it's drier than average in the northern half of the country, but a little bit wetter than average down in the south. The latest wind flow map from earthandnullschool.net shows that we're between areas of low pressure today, but this area of low pressure off the coast of Portugal, this one just here, is one that's going to drag up some warmer air, I think, yes, as we go over the next few days, but will also increase the risk of heavy showers, thunderstorms, and maybe even longer spells of rain across southern areas. It will be one to watch that, I think. Right, so this is how the UK Met Euro run is looking midnight on Saturday. High pressure will be in control of weather over central northern air, but lower pressure will be trying to push up from the south. As we get into the early part of next week, we'll actually see a ridge extending from the Azores high into more southern areas, but out to the north and west, low pressure will bring further spells of wind and rain up there. And that takes us up to midnight on Wednesday, when the south France looking mainly dry and quite warm, and some might say just into southern areas, but further north and west it does look more changeable, with lower pressure bringing cloud, rain and cooler temperatures in from off the Atlantic. Icon looks like this. So again, high pressure across the northern half of the country on Saturday, but low pressure over France trying to push northwards as we go through Sunday to Monday. This area of low pressure just here, the high pressure eases away, goes in that direction, and allows this thundery low here across France to push north. So that's where it is at midnight on Sunday, but by midnight on Monday, that thundery low is actually sitting right over top of the country, and that will be bringing heavy showers, if not widespread thunderstorms too. Beyond that, moving up to the middle part of next week, the lower pressure will bring some wetter and windier weather in from off the Atlantic into northern western area, but the south and south east probably trying to get a bit of a ridge going, so it could be a little bit drier then, but this area of low pressure will be threatening wind and rain into the south and south east, I think, by the middle of next week. GFS midnight run, again showing high pressure across the northern half of the country on Saturday, but low pressures over France, and that thundery low gets ever closer as it pushes northwards, particularly into more southern and southeastern areas. So it is in the south over the weekend, but could have heavy showers, maybe thunderstorms further north, runs a ridge of high pressure, so it should be plenty of dry and warm weather coming through them. Through next week, so low pressure starts to head in from off the Atlantic into the middle part of the week. That brings some wet and windy weather with it perhaps into more western areas, and then heading up toward day 10 we find but another area of low pressure begins to move up towards Greens, and that extends this ridge, it strengthens the ridge over top of the country. So by day 10, just beyond it, actually we've got quite a nice ridge of high pressure from the Atlantic into the UK and Northern Europe. That will bring a spell of warmer, drier weather if that comes off, and then that high pressure dominates the weather then as we go all the way up to the middle part of the month. So GFS midnight run actually looks quite settled through the second week of June and up to the middle of the month. GFS 6Z, again showing that thundery low over France on Saturday, and then that pushes northwards into England, Wales anyway, as you get through into Sunday. Quite a significant area of low pressure off the southeast coast over the weekend, so that will bring lots of heavy showers, maybe thunderstorms, could even be longer spells of rain with that across the south and the southeast. Meanwhile, further north, the high pressure ridge is in control of the weather. Through the more extended range, heading up towards day 10. So low pressure all the time trying to get in from off the Atlantic, but we do try and keep these ridges going. This is like a throwback to the spring pattern. We try to keep the ridges extending in, albeit they are weaker than we had through most of the spring. And up to the middle part of June, low pressure is in control of the weather then, but the high pressure of the ridges finally breaks to allow the low pressure to come through properly. So much more unsettled with the GFS 6-8 compared to the midnight GFS run through the second week of June and up to the middle of the month. Again, I'm not sure how seriously we take that. That gets us to the 17th of June as far as we go to today with the GFS output. If you're enjoying the video, then please can you hit the like button and make sure you sub to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. GM, again, with high pressure across the northern half of the country, low pressure is attempting to move up from the south and does go through into the second half of the weekend. We just find pressure weakening, so showers, I think, become more widespread, break out, and they could be thundery at times too. Up to day 10, doesn't look too bad for southern areas through the middle part of next week. Could be quite warm then, but lower pressure will be out to the northwest, bringing some wind and rain there. And as we get to day 10 itself, which is Saturday the 11th of June, nice ridge trying to build in from the Azores high, but probably still a bit showery, especially so for more northern and eastern areas. And then lastly for these charts, we've got the ECM which once more has shown that thundery low over France, pushing northwards. Through the weekend, it gradually trundles into England and Wales from Sunday into Monday, bring, again, risk of heavy showers, maybe thunderstorms, possibly longer spells of rain. Scotland gets the best of weather, I think, this weekend, definitely under this ridge of high pressure. The driest warmest weather will be in the north. Into next week, this area of low pressure just here. I'm not sure whether that is the disturbance area currently across the Yucatan Peninsula that may develop into a tropical storm, but it does look kind of, because I've got those kind of features, the way it sort of moves out into the Atlantic and sort of deepens around Newfoundland. That's the kind of thing those sort of features can do. So that might be like the third sort of tropical storm heading into North Atlantic. I have not, looked at the wider picture of the ECM to see where that area of low pressure is coming from, but it doesn't know it has those characteristics. ECM actually builds this ridge over the country around the middle part of next week. So up to day 10, the ECM is probably the warmest, driest of the output this morning, although by day 10 it looks like another sort of thundery trough is starting to move up from France by then. But I think the ECM would be producing some very warm weather for the second half of next week, probably. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Tometeo.com. So there will be a lot of dry weather around over the next few days. But as you get into the weekend, of course, you have these heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out across more southern areas. And they do become really quite widespread, actually, by the time you get through to sort of Saturday to Sunday. Look at that, some big storms being suggested there across parts of central and eastern, southeastern England. Matter says whether then carries on through the remainder of the weekend into the early part of next week for the low pressure thundery low finally clears way to the North Sea. And then, of course, we start generating more in way of higher pressure, and what rain there is more out towards the north and west, with many areas turning drier at day 10, albeit by day 10 itself, again, suggestion that says there's some thunderstorms just beginning to break out in that southeast corner. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 11th of June. 23 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and the operational run, have a ridge to the east and lower pressure out to the west. That draws up warmer air from the south and might trigger some thundery weather too. 16 have low pressure away to the northwest, high pressure is to the south, and winds are coming western direction. That will bring some wind and rain into northern and western areas. And then 12 with high pressure in the Norwegian Sea, low pressure out to the west of Ireland. So that looks quite warm, but the low pressure could be triggering heavy showers and maybe even some thunder across more southern and eastern areas. In 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got, and it'll get us to the 16th of June into the middle of the month. 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them, 51 out of 51 have lower pressure to west and southwest. High pressure is to the east. So it looks like that'll be quite a warm pattern. It would draw up the wind from the south, I think, but of course that low would be providing the energy for precipitation. Haven't got CFS V2 weeklies today. I don't know what's happened. They've not updated some today. Hopefully they'll be back online tomorrow. I will show you the CFS V2 forecast for June, though. This is the latest and the final forecast, actually, for June 2022. So it looks like we've got some above average height sitting to the south of the country. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic, which actually doing something a bit like that. So that suggests like the warmest weather is likely to be in southern areas, and that's where the driest weather could be too. The temperature normally isn't much to get excited about. It's about average, but not far away we're not far away from some really, proper heat with those red colours there across France, for example. So I would imagine there could, at the very least, be some hot weather through June at times if that 700 millibar horizontal came off, and no particular signal for precipitation either. But that's a final salvo from the CFS, for June. And CANSIPS, lastly, so we don't often look at CANSIPS. It's not very highly rated model, but I thought we'd just finish off with this for the summer. So this is updated just today, which is tropicaltidbits.com. So this is how June's mean cell pressure anomaly is looking quite anticyclonic, actually, with high pressure close to the coast, especially to the north. Low pressure is more to the south. So it suggests like quite a warm June, I think, with winds in from an easterly type direction or southeasterly direction. But with so much low pressure to the south and also quite deep low pressure in the Atlantic, I reckon, it could be quite volatile and probably stress the wettest weather is likely in north southern areas. However, I think it's not a bad month. I think there'll be quite a bit of warm weather to experience there. Now, by the time we get through to July, pressure is clearly weakening. So we're going towards, I wouldn't necessarily say low pressure, but we're going towards lower pressure anyway, and higher pressure is out in the North Atlantic then at that point. So I reckon there's like a deterioration that's going on there from June to July. June, relatively warm, and especially for more northern areas, quite dry. Probably a little bit more unsettled in July though, and then August carries that on even further. So this will mean cell pressure only for August with lower pressure again coming in from off the Atlantic Ocean this time, and it looks rather Atlantic driven. So I think this is certainly from CANSIPS. I think this is suggesting that the best of the summer is early. It's a front-loaded summer with the warmest, driest weather likely to be. Likely to be in June, and then there's a deterioration going on in July, and then it turns more unsettled still into August. This is how the summer overall is looking in CANSIPS in terms of the mean cell pressure only for June, July, August for the summer, and it looks quite low pressure base. So what higher pressure there is with these lighter colours, I think is occurring in June, and it generally looks like quite a mixed summer, I think, from CANSIPS. I can show you the temperature anomaly. So the temperature anomaly is not bad. It's a little bit above average, so it's not a particularly cool summer, not a particularly hot summer. The hottest weather this summer, by the look of it, is across Eastern Europe. That's why I've got those red colours there. So the hottest weather for Eastern, Southern, Southeastern Europe. Nevertheless, it's still a little bit above average on the temperature anomaly scale in those magnolia sort of shades. We're around perhaps a degree above average, something like that. June's temperature anomaly does look quite warm. So June temperature anomaly going into those deeper orange colours. July's temperature anomaly also looks quite warm. So there's not particularly bad summer in terms of temperature. A lot of warm weather on offer. August perhaps cools things a little bit, but still even a little bit above average. Bear in mind these long-range models are always, favouring warm weather most of the time. We have had a very, very warm run, but definitely the warmest month is June. And then precipitation. So not too bad for June. Drier than average. So a warmer, drier month for June, getting the summer off to a pretty good start there, if that's right. July begins to turn more unsettled, especially out to our north and west. So there's clearly a deterioration that takes place from June to July. August probably not as bad as you might have expected, given the mean cell pressure anomaly. Though not much of a signal for August, but I think going more and more towards the unsettled side after the warmer and drier after warmer and drier June. And then lastly, precipitation for the summer itself, actually it's a little bit, ever so slightly on the drier side, but that's mainly down to what's happening in June, of course. Anyway, it's all food for thought. It's not one of the best models by any means, CANSIPS, but it has updated today, and I thought, why not have a look at it? You'll find out what Terry Scully is forecasting for June and also for the summer. You'll find out what Terry's forecasting this evening at around 7 p.m, so make sure you have a look at that. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, then please can you hit the like button, and don't forget to sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. And if you can get them to subscribe for us, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Right, so we're done with this video, then we will be back a little bit later on with Terry's forecast for the summer and for June too. And then tomorrow we'll have a 10 to 14 day as well. Most days the videos will just be one a day, just a 10 to 14 day up until the funeral. There will be the odd day like today where I'll do a couple. Right, okay, so thank you so much. Enjoy your Wednesday, and for this video, that's all for now though, and thanks for watching.